Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for being listening our presentation today. We are from Group 2. My name is Amelia Maharani as a first speaker, and my friends is Firza Safitri as second speaker, and my friend too, Kevin Hiroshi, as third speaker. Today, we will present to you about topic 2, language point as verb. Now, let's get started. Okay, the first topic is definition of verb. Before I explain the definition of verb, I will explain about where does verb comes from. A verb from the Latin verbum meaning is word. Artinya, dalam bahasa Latin itu verbum, artinya kata. Is a word that in syntax conveys an action, an occurrence, or a state of being. Adalah kata dalam sintaksis menyatakan suatu tindakan, kejadian, atau keadaan. Intinya, verb bisa digunakan untuk menunjukkan apa yang sedang dikerjakan, action, apa yang sedang terjadi, occurrence, dan nunjukin kondisi atau keberadaan, yaitu state of being. Oke, for the example of action, yaitu ada she runs every morning. And for the occurrence, for the example is it happened yesterday. And example of state of being is he is happy, yang menunjukkan tentang perasaan atau kondisi. In the usual description of English, the basic form with or without the particle to is the infinitive in many languages. Verbs are inflected to encode tense, aspect, mood, and voice. Dalam umumnya bahasa Inggris, bentuk dasar dengan atau tanpa partikel to adalah infinitive. Dalam banyak bahasa, kata kerja dibentuk untuk menunjukkan suatu aspek, suasana, dan suara. Artinya, bentuk dasar dari sebuah verb bisa ditulis memakai to. Contohnya to eat, to read, and to write. Kalau tanpa to, yaitu eat, read, and write. Dalam banyak bahasa, verb bisa berubah bentuknya atau disebut inflected. Perubahan bentuk ini dipakai untuk menunjukkan tense, aspect, mood, and voice. Untuk encode tense, itu waktu kejadian, bisa present, sekarang, past, or in the future. Seperti I eat rice, itu untuk present. Pastnya I eat rice, and future-nya I will eat rice. Aspek itu untuk cara melihat suatu kondisi apakah sedang berlangsung, sudah selesai, atau berulang. Contohnya, I am eating, berarti sedang berlangsung. I have eaten, itu sudah selesai. Lalu, untuk mood, itu sikap pembicara terhadap kalimat. Bisa berupa fakta, kemungkinan, perintah, atau harapan. For the example, if I were you, I will study harder. Okay. Lalu untuk voice, itu bentuk kalimat, apakah subjek yang melakukan aksi, active voice, atau subjek yang dikenai aksi, yaitu passive voice. Example of active voice is the teacher explained the lesson. Example for passive voice is the lesson is explained by the teacher. Okay, next, verbs are used to express the activity of one or a group of nouns, sentences. Verbs function as predicates. For the example, she runs every morning. They play football. Verb itu kata kerja yang dipakai untuk menunjukkan suatu kegiatan atau aktivitas yang dilakukan oleh subjek. Subjeknya bisa satu atau kelompok orang. Contohnya, every morning she runs around the park for almost an hour to stay healthy. For the next example, every weekend they play football together. Next, verbs generally require an object. Transitive verbs But there are also some verbs that do not require an object, intransitive verbs. Kata kerja umumnya memerlukan objek, yaitu kata kerja transitif. Tetapi ada juga beberapa kata kerja yang tidak memerlukan objek, yaitu intransitive verb. For the example, transitive verb is he reads a history book every night. Untuk intransitive verb, she sleeps peacefully. Verbs are the most important type of word in a sentence. Even in spoken language, with just a verb, we can express an idea that can be understood by other people. Kata kerja adalah jenis kata yang paling penting dalam sebuah kalimat. Bahkan dalam bahasa lisan, hanya dengan kata kerja saja kita bisa menyampaikan ide yang bisa dipahami oleh orang lain. For the example, if a teacher says stop during the class, all the students instantly know that they should stop talking and pay attention. For the second topic is function of verbs, yang artinya fungsi sebuah kalimat atau fungsi kalimat. The function of verbs is divided into several functions. One, action verb, kata kerja aksi, expresses an action that the subject of a sentence does, did in the past, or will do in the future. Bisa menyatakan suatu tindakan yang dilakukan subjek kalimat baik di masa lalu, sekarang maupun di masa depan. For the example, I run every morning. To linking verb, kata kerja penghubung, show the condition of the subject. It connects a subject to the other words in a sentence that describe it or the provide additional information, yang artinya menunjukkan keadaan subjek, menghubungkan subjek dengan kata lain dalam kalimat yang menjelaskannya atau memberikan informasi tambahan. Example, the soup smells delicious. Linking verbnya smells, objeknya the soup. Next, auxiliary verb, also called helping verb, are used with other verbs to change the tense, voice, or condition of the verb. Yang ketiga ini kata kerja bantu, disebut juga helping verb. Digunakan bersama kata kerja lain untuk mengubah kalimat, suara, atau kondisi. For the example, she is studying for her exam. Next, conditional verb are verb conjugated with could, would, or should to show a possible condition. They may be in any tense. Yang terakhir adalah kata kerja kondisional, dibentuk dengan could, would, atau should. Itu menunjukkan keharusan, menunjukkan kemungkinan kondisi, dan dapat digunakan dalam berbagai kalimat. For the example, I would go if I had money. The third topic is kinds of verbs, yang artinya jenis-jenis kata kerja. A. Action verbs. An action verb is a verb that expresses something that a person, animal, object, or process in nature, such as a storm, can do rather than expressing a state of being. A. Transitive verbs. B. Intransitive verbs. Yang artinya kata kerja tindakan adalah kata kerja yang mengekspresikan suatu yang dapat dilakukan oleh seseorang, hewan, objek, atau proses di alam, seperti badai contohnya, dan bukan mengekspresikan suatu keadaan, state of being. Oke, A transitive verb is the verb that needs an object. Seperti yang dijelaskan sebelumnya, transitive verbs, kita jelaskan kembali bahwa transitive verbs adalah kata kerja yang membutuhkan objek. To make a transitive verb is subject, transitive verbs, diikuti objek. For the examples, he watched the film. This sentence will not be complete if the film we eliminate. Others will wonder, watching what? Then the verb watch requires an object so that the meaning of the sentence can be understood and complete. And the man cut the tree. The verb cut is a transitive verb. And next, she made a cake. The verb made is a transitive verb. A transitive verb generally only has one object. The object can either be a noun, pronoun, infinitive, gerund, phrases, and clause. Noun, I have booked a car. Pronoun, I will see it. Infinitive, I want to swim. Gerund, he likes climbing. Phrases, they don't know how to make it go. Clause, they don't know what you want. However, there are some transitive verbs that have two objects. One in general is the name of a certain object, while the other is a person or animal. The mentioned object is called the direct object, and the person or animal that is mentioned is called indirect object. Namun, ada beberapa kata kerja transitif yang memiliki dua objek. Yang satu umumnya adalah nama objek tertentu, sedangkan objek yang lainnya adalah orang atau hewan. Objek yang disebutkan disebut objek langsung, lalu orang atau hewan yang disebutkan disebut objek tidak langsung. For the example, I broke her a book. In the example, the noun book is a direct object and her is an indirect object. When the direct object is placed after or behind the indirect object, then it should use the word from, to, or for. Yang artinya dalam tata bahasa Inggris, kalau objek langsung, direct object diletakkan setelah objek tidak langsung, maka kita harus menambahkan kata to atau for untuk di depannya. For the example, I made a kit for him. A kit is direct object and him is indirect object. The verb is the verb that does not need an object. Intransitive verb atau objek tidak langsung pada kata kerjanya tidak memerlukan objek. For the example, the cat is sleeping under the chair. The baby cries for food. My friend and I go to campus by commuter line. Thank you, audience, for the attention. This is the end of my explanation. Next part will be explained by Firza Sapitri.
Okay, thank you to Amelia Maharani. So, after we understand the previous explanation, now I will discuss further about linking verbs. B. Linking verbs atau kata kerja penghubung. Linking verbs are a type of verbs which connect or links the subject of a sentence to a word or phrase. Jadi linking verb di sini adalah suatu kata kerja yang menghubungkan atau mengaitkan subjek suatu kalimat dengan kata atau frasa. Call a subject complement. The renames or describes the subject. Juga disebut pelengkap subjek yang mengganti nama atau mendeskripsikan subjek tersebut. The basic formula or structure of a linking verbs is subject plus linking verbs plus subject complement. A subject complement can be an adjective atau pelengkap subjek juga dapat berupa kata sifat. For the example, your face grows red, her voice sounds pretty, he look handsome. Next, B. A subjective complement can be noun or pronouns, yang berarti pelengkap subjek dapat berupa kata benda atau kata ganti. For the example, he becomes district governor. The robber is him. C. Auxiliary verbs atau kata kerja bantu. Auxiliary verbs function to complement and clarify the main verb in a sentence. Kata kerja bantu di sini berfungsi untuk melengkapi dan memperjelas makna kata kerja utama dalam sebuah kalimat, as well as help from various grammatical structure, such as tense, negative forms, question, and passive sentence. Juga membantu berbagai struktur tata bahasa seperti bentuk kata, bentuk negatif, pertanyaan, dan kalimat pasif. Be is used to form continue, tense, and passive voice. For the example, the dog is beating a child. A child is beaten by the dog. Be, have, or has, or had is used to form perfect tense. For the example, they have known me for 3 years. She has had dinner already. Next. Do or does or did is used to form question and negative sentence in the present simple or past. Do or does or did pada kata kerja bantu digunakan untuk membantu kalimat tanya dan kalimat negatif dalam bentuk present simple atau past. Simple tense when the sentence doesn't have a special verb. Simple tense di sini digunakan ketika kalimat tidak memiliki kata kerja khusus. Moreover, we can also use them to show the emphasis sentence. Kita juga dapat menggunakannya untuk menunjukkan kalimat yang ditekankan. For the example, he doesn't eat meat. Yesterday he did not eat meat either. Do you live in Depok? Did you live in Depok last year? I do live in here. He did join the meeting last Monday. The will is used to form future tense. For the example, people will be difficult to live because of the climate change. The environment will become terrible in the above decade. Next. Modal verbs. It is a type auxiliary verbs that is used to express ability, possibility, permission, request, or obligation. Modal verbs di sini adalah jenis kata bantu yang digunakan untuk menyatakan kemampuan, kemungkinan, izin, permintaan, atau kewajiban. The modal verbs are can, could, may, might, shall, should, will, would, must. For the example, he can eat 10 slices of pizza. It is ability or skill. You should stop smoking. Suggestion. May I open the window, please? Permission. It is snowing, so it must be very cold outside. Possibility. Next. Irregular verbs atau kata kerja beraturan. A regular verb is a verb which can vary according to the shape of tense. Verb from and the change it regularly. Regular verbs, which in the language of Indonesia called irregular verbs, is a work in which words have verbs 1 to verb 2 or verb 3 to change by adding. The affix at adalah bentuk kata kerja yang mengubah bentuk 1 menjadi kata kerja 2 atau kata kerja 3 dengan menambahkan imbuhan ee di belakangnya, or just by adding the suffix d only if the verb ends with his letter e, atau hanya dengan menambahkan akhiran di jika kata kerja tersebut berakhiran huruf i. For the example, call, called, called, admit, admitted, admitted. submit, submitted, submit, invite, invited, invited, there, there, encourage, encourage, encourage. Okay. Thank you audience for the attention. This is the end of my explanation about the definition linking verbs, auxiliary verbs, modal verbs, and regular verbs. The next part will be explained by Kevin Sena.
Before we start, let me introduce myself. My name is Kevin Sena Hiroshi. I am speaker 3. I would like to continue my previous discussion about regular verbs. Next is irregular verbs. Okay, so let's get started. An irregular verb is a verb that functions the same as the regular verb, but the changing shape of the verb is irregular. Irregular verbs are the verbs that change from the verb 1 to verb 2 or verb 3, not by adding affixes, add or d. Words work irregular change in it, given the numbers of verbs are very much in is and is largely irregular verbs. Then, that needs to be memorized is irregular verbs. The forms of irregular verbs are divided into 3 groups as follows. A few examples about the verb. So the first one is the verb form of the second and third unchanged from his first form. For example, the verbs bat, bid, cut, and hurt both form and all 3 also bat, beat, cut, and hurt. So it's the same form. B. The verb forms of the second and third are the same but different from his first form. For example, the verb bleed forms the second and the third forms bled, and the second and third forms of cling is clung. The first form of the verb, the second form, and the form of the trio is not the same. For example, take is formed into the second form took, and the third form is taken. Arise form both second form arose and the third form arise, and so on. So that's 3 examples for irregular verbs. Not examples, the explanation of changing or unchanged from verb 1, verb 2, or verb 3. So let's move on into the real example. So the first example is read, read, read. Okay. The second one is come, came, come. The third is begin, began, and begun. The last is slept, sleep, slept, slept. Okay. There is a notes, additional notes. In addition, there is also a verb that can be grouped into irregular verbs at the same time. For example, the verb awake, second and third forms which can be awake or awoke. The verb form of the leap, second and third could have leaped, or leaped, and so on. Okay, that is for irregular verbs. So we move on to prefixes and suffix used for forming verbs. Okay, the first one is prefix. A prefix is a group of letters placed before the root of a word. For example, the word unhappy consists of the prefix "un", which means not, and the prefix "an" is combined with the root of with the root or stem word large become enlarge. Jadi dari large ke enlarge, ya itu artinya udah beda gitu kan. Large saya besar, enlarge saya tidak besar. For example, prefix "n", jadi ini pakai kata yang n plus large dalam kurung adjective menjadi enlarge. Verb lagi n plus danger, noun. Kalau tadi adjective, sekarang noun. Become endanger, jadinya verb. Oke. Prefix b plus friend itu noun ya, menjadi become befriend, jadi verb. Dari noun plus be jadi verb, sama kayak tadi danger. Oke, next adalah suffix. Oke. Oh, I'm sorry. The next one is suffix. A suffix is a group of letters placed after the root of a word. For example, the word flavorless consists of the root word flavor combined with the suffix less, which means without. Jadi dari kata flavorless itu tadinya katanya flavor aja, terus digabungin dengan suffix less, jadinya itu tidak berasa. Kan flavor itu rasa ya, jadi flavorless itu tidak berasa. The word flavorless means having no flavor. See, is not have a flavor at all because it's combined with the suffix. For example, the first one is suffix "an". Okay, the first one is fright. There is a noun become frightened. Second one is threat, is a noun become threatened. Okay. The third one is haste, become hasten. Okay. The fourth is strength, is a noun become strengthened. The last one is length, is a noun become lengthened. The next one is suffix z or is. For example, the word is apologize, become apologize. The next one is colonize, become colonize. The next one is sympathy, become sympathize. The next one is memory, become memorize. And the last one is critic, become criticize. Okay. Kita lanjut. The next one is still same but suffix "fi", "i-fi" or "e-fi". Okay. The word is beauty, become beautify. Terror, become terrify. Class, become classify. Solid, become solidify. And the last one is liquid, become liquefy. So the word is using the suffix "ify" from the word liquid. The next one is change the last word with F or V. V. The first one is believe, become, believe. The second one is relief, become, relief. See my lips. The next one is half, becomes half. Okay, the last one is proof, becomes proof. Okay, it's like the same but not same because the last word is changed with F or V. The next one is the only change, there is no pattern of changes but very close. The first should or should, no pattern change but very close. The second one sail, become sell. Okay, not become, sell, shell, sail, shell. The next one is sheet, sheet, sheet. It's very close. Next one is foot, feet. Okay, the next one is bath and bath. Next one is blood and bleed. The last one is choice, become choose, not become. I'm sorry. Okay, there is examples for suffix. There is 5, yeah. N, Z or I's, Phi, I, Phi or E, Phi. Change the last word with F or V. Then the last one, the only change, there is no pattern of change but very close. So that is for my part. Thank you for my partner Amelia Maharini and Firza Savitri, who be the first speaker and second speaker. And thank you guys for your attention. I apologize if there a mistake. Thank you very much for your attention and bye bye.